No, we are live. Jakey, we're live. Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome back for another live stream on the channel as Jake goes to mute himself. Hopefully, he can do that for the next 90 minutes or so. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay in the chat below. How's your weekend been? Let us know in the chat. We are joined once again by Jake, losing again. Ole, ole. You lost.
Ben.
And in honour of Lincoln City losing, I thought it's only fair to go red
And white for Barnsley. Yeah, now there's a surprise. Yes, hello, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Enjoyed the game yesterday. It was a good watch. We should have been 6-0 down. Realistically, should have been 3 or 4-0 down. They're a good side at League Two level, believe me. I can't wait for the season to end now from a Fleetwood POV. But for us, there's still 14 shows left after tonight of League One Live. 14 to go after tonight. I think we've done. It's 36 shows now, so it'll be touching 50 come the end of the season as well. We'll come to the comments as well. Make sure you drop us a massive like as well on the stream. Just if you haven't already, just drop a like for us as we're coming in as well. Flash, speed camera, bit rich.
That's pot kettle black in it, Ben.
That's the bit rich coming from the side that lost to a side that haven't run away on a Saturday at 3 o'clock for 3 years. Just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it was a bit of a typo history. Sack the reporter.
I'll tell you what, he's quite chirpy for someone who supports the team in League Two, doesn't he?
He is, yeah. Hello,
Anne-Marie.
Hope we're all right. Yeah, was outstanding, I thought. Good evening, David. Hope you're well, mate. Thank you for tuning as well. Hello, Mark. Good evening, Sue. Good evening, Luke. Go on then. How was your weekend? Talk me through it.
Well,
come on, we want positivity.
Yes.
I want you to be happier than last week because last week you did me head in.
My weekend was ruined by more than just the football, Ben, as you are well aware.
Yeah.
I've had a bit of a bad week this week, so I had some really bad news. I'm not the only person, obviously, but yeah, I've had some bad news, and it's caused me quite a bit of stress. So I went to the football yesterday, and do you know what, Ben? I said to somebody when I was there, I was in the away end. I just didn't care. Do you know how you felt sometimes last season and this season? Like I only went to the football yesterday to try and take. I'd try and take it off my mind, but they weren't able to do it, and just helped that we lost. So yeah, I wasn't particularly bothered. Look, I'm not surprised by Lincoln City anymore. You know, everyone here knows my stance on things. It was toxic. It was nasty. Like I'll say to you later, Ben, don't let the last 20 minutes fool you. This Lincoln team were really poor. Such is life, but it's not been my finest week, mate. And while I am here, I'd like just to wish my best wishes to David, who's in the chat tonight, who unfortunately lost one of his grandparents over the weekend, one he was particularly close with. So rest in peace to David's grandma. And it does make you think that football is just a game, Ben, isn't it? It's just things are. Things like that and things like what's happened to me this week, put it into perspective, and it's just a game, and life is there's so much more to life than just your 11 lads kicking it around the pitch each week. But yeah, it's not been okay. I mean, it's been nice to see my mum today, which was nice. See my grandma, but yeah, that was about it.
Yeah.
Sorry to be depressing, everyone, but
I mean, come on. We're all entertaining, Jay. I mean, it's like going on like an ITV program with Ollie Willoughby.
Can I give you the one positive?
Can I just say, right? You were at a BGT, right? And whatever you did now, you've got 4 yeses. You're through to the next round.
I'll give you the one positive, right? I'll give you the one positive.
River,
Can I give you the one positive?
Go on.
I don't know if you've ever been. You have been to Barnsley. There's a lovely food truck right at the end of the car park behind the other goal,
Right.
and they do a hog roast bat with stuffing, crackling, and apple sauce, and that was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What did I ever say? Oh, I had a pie at the football, which it was all right, wasn't it? Right. We'll get on with football. It's good to see you. There's 140 with us already. 140. Subscribe if you haven't already as well.
Tell Birmingham won, can't you?
17,000 subscribers. Hello, Blues fans.
Hello,
nice
Blues
to see
fans.
you. How are we? Content won't be going just for you guys, by the way. Let's start off with, for back-to-back weeks, Charlton Athletics start the week. No team in UEFA's top 5 divisions, plus the EFL, have scored more stoppage time goals than the Addicts. Nathan Jones's Charlton have got a late streak in them. They scored twice in stoppage time on Saturday and now 10 in total. Only Leeds United are the only team in the top 5 within the most goals in stoppage time within the EFL, who have got 8. Charlton Athletic have won 7 of their last 10 league games against the O's. They've lost 3 of those and they scored 17 across those victories. Charlton Athletic have now only lost twice in 16. However, it all started off after those 2 draws with a 5-0 demolishing of the Cobblers. 6 wins, 6 draws, 7 defeats within their first 19 games. He had 24 points within that time. Since then, what has followed is 10 victories, 2 draws, 2 defeats, collecting 32 points in that period across 14 matches, 8 more points in 5 games less. Charlton have lost just 2 of the 16 games, like I said. They've won 10, drawn 4, and they've scored at least twice in 11 of those 14 games. Charlton got branded as boring, and they were getting lucky, and they were a 1-0 team. They're finding different arrows to their dart now. A really, really good side. We'll come to Leyton Orient in a minute, but Charlton, Nathan Jones went over to the away fans, climbed the barrier, and went full on skis. Went like that.
He's done it before, though, Ben, hasn't he?
Yeah,
He's done it.
He's
done
very,
it.
very, very passionate, isn't he?
He did it away at Swansea, I think,
Yeah.
when he was manager. It was either Stoke or Luton. I can't remember. Because he's a Cardiff boy, isn't he? So he went in and had some fun. Yeah, no, it's good to see, Ben, isn't it? You do like that from a neutral point of view. Obviously, if you're a Leyton Orient fan, you're probably absolutely seething about it. But yeah, from a Charlton point of view, and we've said it so many times, Ben, about Nathan Jones in this football. It's very attritional, and when they win, it's great, and when they don't win, it's not so great. And before this little streak of wins, they weren't winning regularly. And when he first came in, I seem to remember they drew a lot of games, weren't they? And there was a lot of.
They won 20 games last. Sorry, they drew 20 games in total last year.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot of criticism aimed Nathan Jones's way. But I'll tell you, the man that's completely unlocked them, Ben, is Alex Gilbert. Signed on loan from Borough. Both corners in yesterday. I seem to think he's had maybe 3 or 4 assistants coming in. But yeah, this is massive because this was a real big. How do I say it? This was a real big 6-pointer, really, with Orient being in the playoffs, Charlton just outside of it. And it was really important for them to go and get 3 points. And after minute 90, after minute 50, when Jordan Brown put his arrow into the top corner, which was an outstanding strike, Charlton go and capitalise on 2 set pieces. Leyton Orient need to be stronger. I know Josh Keeley made a couple of really good saves throughout the game to stop Charlton scoring before, but he's got to be more demanding from corners. You look at his frame, Ben. He's not a small lad. He's a big lad. He can come and get these crosses, but he flapped at them. Richie Wellens is talking about a foul on the goalkeeper. I don't think. I wouldn't agree with him. I think the goalkeeper's got to be stronger. It's a phrase that I know our friend David likes. So yeah, no, it was a really big win for them, really big. They weren't great minute 1 to 90, but they stepped up and they were counted in key moments. And Gillespie, who we've known from his time at Plymouth, has scored a number of goals from left-sided centre-back for them since coming in. And Kane Ramsey has been a really good source of assists this season. So yeah, no, it's a really good win for them. To go away at Orient, which is a local game, go above them in the league table as well, game in hand over them. Fantastic. I don't think as Charlton fans could have had a better Saturday.
No, it's a massive victory. Leyton Orient now have lost 3 on the spin. to the three sides that they lost earlier this season to, isn't it? You know, Bolton, they lost earlier this season. Birmingham, they lost earlier this season. And Charlton, and I'm not going to critique too bad. Richie Williams came out after the game and, you know, last time out after those first 3 games going, he was sick of saying the season starts now when they played the better side, and he won't like that. It was a decent competitive game yesterday. There was 36 shots, only, you know, and 14 on target between the two football clubs. And up till 90 minutes, it was a complete performance, 1-0. You think, hang on a minute. Well, if Leighton Orient win that game of football, they go to 56. They are where the Charlton are, and it's a massive victory for them. And then all of a sudden, they've bounced back from two defeats. But Charlton, at this moment in time, are finding something they couldn't do before as well. It's a fantastic victory for them, and it's huge for the Addicts. Massive, massive victory as well. And look, this side, you know, are giving you a lot of Lee Bowyer sides, you know, go to the end, showing a lot of passion. They've drawn 8 games this year. Now they've won 16. They've turned 4 or 5 draws into wins this year. It's an extra 10 points. That's what we critiqued to them last year. They weren't losing games of football too regularly. They were drawing. And you don't get very far if you draw. Blackpool are learning that this moment in time. Before yesterday, Blackpool had only were unbeaten in 11, but they drew 8 of them. You don't get very far when you draw games. You might go up 1, but you might go down 2 the next week, and it's as simple as that. You need to get a win. You need to kind of level it out as a win and a draw and a win and a draw if you want to get somewhere. And Charlton are over that at this moment in time. Wigan 1, Reading 2. We'll start off with a quick point. Great result for Reading, who, again, already have as many points this season away from home within 17 matches as they do from 23 matches last year. They've won 4, drawn 6, lost 7, where they've won 4, drew 6, lost 13 last year. Reading have won 4 of their 6 last visits to the whatever you call it stadium now, the Brick Stadium, Community Brick Stadium, the DW Stadium, whatever you want to call it. Reading unbeaten, Community. Welcome to Community. Reading unbeaten in 6 matches, winning 3, drawing 3. They last enjoyed a run like this back in January and February last year as well. Good result for the Royals away from home that keeps Reading within a sniff of the playoffs. Same points as Leighton Orient with a game in hand. A point below Bolton Wanderers and just 3 off Charlton. Noel Hunt doing a good job there. We found out the news today that Sean Maloney, legend at the football club as a player, and what a job he did there last year, had been relieved of his duties. Wigan Athletic have just won 2 of their 11 home games against Reading, so not a great record against his side. However, on Sean Maloney, they are currently the joint lowest scorers in the division, with 31 with Stevenage. However, they had the second best defence, 12 clean sheets this season as well. In terms of attacking output, 19th in expected goals and shots on target per game. However, the 9th fewest expected goals conceded. Wigan, it was their first loss in 4 yesterday. They beat Huddersfield 2-1 on Tuesday. They drew it away at second in the league, Wycombe, last Saturday, 0-0. They got 4 points from side second and 5th in the division before losing to Reading. On the back of it is a harsh sacking. It's very, very tough because what a job he did there last year. They're only last year they were on 45 points at this stage, 37 overall. They are currently on 39. They're only 6 points worse off than at this point last year. So they're not a million. However, they are without Stella Waysguard. They are without Charlie Hughes. They are without a White. They are without a Callum Lang figure. They are without big players. And they've not replaced them. Let's be honest, they've not replaced them. And they've replaced them with homegrown players, and they've replaced them with loans. You know, don't get me wrong. I think that the play Dale Taylor's come in. Owen Dale's been fantastic. Ronan Darcy is still coming in as well. So again, what you laugh? Shut up.
No, I'm not laughing at you.
I know.
Look.
Yes, I know. We're going to come to that in a minute. It's massive for them. I feel sorry for Sean Maloney. I think his football at times has been questionable. However, I look at it a bit like Pete Ward. I think that he thinks, I don't really have a lot of match winners or X factor in this side, although Ronan Darcy, Owen Dale, you know, Dale Taylor are good players. I don't really have teams that I can go and blow teams away with this team because it's not good enough to do that. So we're going to have to be structured defensively, which they are, which limits you going forward a little bit. So it can be hard to watch. I'm in a believer that I didn't think he was the right man to lead Wigan going forward, but I think it's a harsh and weird timing right now. And I think that they're expecting a little bit too much of him on a budget. They're expecting him to perform miracles. And I feel he's been hard done by because he's an absolute legend at that football club.
Yeah. No, I agree. But you do look at the form, Ben, and it's what? One win in the league since the end of Jan. So that's how many games? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 win in 7. What I would say about Maloney is I understand both sides. He's a really, really. I thought he was a good manager.
You drew away at Wycombe. You drew away at Crawley. You say that.
Crawley's a disappointing one.
All right then. Since the Bristol Rovers victory, they lost by 1 goal away at Peterborough. Can happen. They drew at home to Lincoln City late on, unlucky. They got knocked out by Fulham in the Premier League in the FA Cup. Lost to Stockport at home, we were better than them. Crawley's disappointing, don't get me wrong. Went away at Wycombe and got a 0-0 draw. Beat Huddersfield, and then now, don't get me wrong, the football is poor. It's a hard watch.
It's awful.
But it's getting results. And if that's the way that you've got to get results in this division, you've got to perform. But I think that he's not been backed. I don't think he's been backed.
He hasn't been. Looking at the financial figures, in 24-25, we're going to have spent £300,000 on players, right? They have received 8.72. This is in euros, by the way, according to transfermarkt.com, which is a reliable source. An income of 8.72 million euros, which leaves them with, I'm going to guess, around a £7.5 million balance so far this season. And you look at other teams in the league, like that puts them 12th in terms of overall spend in the league, but miles out in front in terms of income. He's not been backed. He's lost his key players, like you've already said, the likes of Hughes, the likes of Asgard, and he's not been given the He's not been given the money to do it. Now Wigan have got a lot going on off the pitch. The ownership are trying to prove to the supporters that they're in it for the long term rather than what they had before. So they're building up the infrastructure, and that costs money. And ultimately, teams perform particularly poorly when the money that the income for players from the playing budget is not spent on the incoming players. And it's a real shame, really, for Sean Maloney. He's a great manager. We said last year, Ben. I think you even said it on an episode of T-Lop that he was up there for Manager of the Year because of the way he was, the fact that he got them from negative points pretty much up to scratch straight away, and then they were in. They were if you hadn't take away the points, they'd have been in a race for the playoffs. So yeah, well, you boys need to get over that. Because we've got him.
I mean, I'm not being funny, right? If that was Ethan or Ron, you'd be on here going, Ethan might
go to Wigan. Why would Ethan go to Wigan?
I think that, yeah.
His style of football's not good, Ben. The style I've watched them, they're tepid. They don't create goals or score. Dale Taylor has scored or assisted 50% of their league goals so far this season. And that tells you everything you need to know. Without Dale Taylor on the pitch, you have shut Wigan Athletic up almost completely. There's no I understand it's sometimes a debate between do the players have to get the fans up or do the fans have to get the players up? And the players are doing nothing to let the Wigan fans make the Brick Community Stadium a fortress. And ultimately, teams go there and win, like we saw with Reading yesterday and Stockport and teams before them. So look, it's particularly tough. I mean, I don't know if you've had a look at the odds for the manager. I saw it earlier.
I think going back to that, and I get it, the squad of players isn't great. Where that squad of players, and I said this, I don't think it's massively underachieving. If I'm honest with you, right, of teams above them, if I could go through, Rotherham, you'd probably say we'll have a bit more attacking flair than them. Lincoln, yeah.
No.
Lincoln,
no.
The similar problems at Lincoln in terms of there's no one that really blows me away in an attacking sense.
Take note, board.
Stevenage have more attacking quality than Wigan. And that's simple. It's a simple fact that you go through, Stevenage's like attacking lineup. Blackpool have a better squad, and then so Wigan are probably in around that mid-table pack, and they're only a victory away. So I do think, in a way, that his football has been diabolical, and it would have been questioned if it was somebody else. If it was called Scott Brown or Michael Scabala or Darryl Clark to their football club, it would be quite. But Sean Maloney is a legend. And you've got to remember as well, when he first joined that football club, nobody would ever go near it. They weren't getting paid. They were in administration. He was going to certain to go get relegated. And the job he did there last year to finish mid-table, they won 20 games last year.
Do you want to hear some of the?
They drew 10 and lost 16. They got 60. I think they got 68
70 points.
Yeah, nearly 68, 70 points, which is fantastic. It really is.
Do you want to hear some of the names, Ben? That's I know it's just early on. Ryan Lowe is currently the favourite for the job. I think that would be a decent appointment. He's based in the northwest. If they can get him,
yeah, and he might pick up the low mood.
I've just seen who's second on the list, Ben, and I can't believe it. Who do you think it is?
Lee Johnson.
No, Ian Evatt. Lee Johnson.
No, right. Hear me out on Ian Evatt. Right. I think it'd be a fantastic appointment. Right.
He won't get to win.
Forget his Bolton connections. Every time that manager, Ian Evatt, has been in that stadium, Wigan have won. So if you put him in charge of Wigan Athletic, 138 points, 100 goals, they'll win the league, mate.
I'll tell you why I think.
Every time he goes there, we can win.
I'll tell you why I think would be a really good fit. I think Paul Warne would be a really good fit at Wigan.
Yeah.
I really think.
But again,
like, not one of the bigger clubs. He got Rotherham up so many times without being one of the bigger clubs in the league.
To be fair, right, Paul Warne says his football isn't brilliant. Anything's better than woke ball. And what I mean by woke ball, I mean the football that, let's have 700. No, we can't go forward yet. We've got to make 50 passes before we score. Woke. Woke.
What about Leighton Baines? He's Everton's under-23s coach, isn't he?
Yeah, he was rumoured to Barrow, wasn't he? He was rumoured to go to Barrow.
And he's an ex-Wigan player. And we know they like that.
Yeah.
Who else have they got on here? Mark Kennedy, Lee Johnson, Ian Foster, John O'Shea is on the list. Wayne Rooney, Stephen Gerrard.
I don't think it'd be a big appointment.
I don't know. This random
Glenn Whelan, do you think, to the end of the season?
I'd have a caretaker to the end of the season and look to reassess in the summer. George Boateng has just randomly popped up. No idea who that is.
Is that like Ghanaian footballer?
Well, you're guessing that on the surname, aren't you?
Yeah, it's interesting. Right. You're just trying to buy time here, boy. We're moving on. Right. Third game, Barnsley 4, Lincoln City 3.
Go for it.
Absolute humdinger of a game.
It wasn't.
7 goals. That was 4-3 Lincoln.
It wasn't. No. Ben, this was the worst game that I've ever seen have 7 goals in it, ever.
And I don't have a stat for this, right? Somebody can let me know. Barnsley had 5 shots in the match, right? Yeah. All 5 were on target. None were blocked. None were off target. 4 of them went into the onion bag. So
I remember, I've seen him.
Davis Keeler done 3 goals and 1 assist in his last 2. 13 goals, 4 assists this season. Only 4 players have more non-penalty goals than that man. Do you want to have a guess who they are in the EFL?
In the EFL?
Yeah, there's one in League 2. One that's in League 2 that moved back to the Championship, and another one in the Championship.
I guess the one in the Champ is maybe Boyer Science.
Yeah. Who was in League 2 and then now moved back to the Championship? He was on loan.
Oh, went on loan to League 2.
You wanted him in January.
Nathan Lowe. That was Nathan Lowe.
Who scored against Fleetwood yesterday?
Oh, well, the Alessandro Jatta.
Yeah, and then centre forward for a team that are going to probably win the league.
Well, Stansfield.
No, league above.
Win the league above?
Championship.
That's Leeds or Sheffield United.
Leeds.
Centre forward.
Yeah.
Joel Perot.
Correct. Well done. Davis Keeler has 13. Barnsley have won 4 on the spin. So Barnsley around Christmas won 4 on spin. Then the next 5, they didn't win in 6. They They literally lost 5, drew 1. Now they've won 3 on the spin. They are the patchiest team ever. You can tell that Lee Johnson's managed them somewhere like years ago, which he did do. They're now 4 points off the playoffs. Barnsley obviously had 5 shots all on target, like we mentioned. Good result for the Reds. Do you think on that evidence of showing Barnsley now scored 50 goals, 4 points off the players? Are Barnsley still in the playoff conversation?
No, they're bad.
What a legend. He's coming with another donation.
Shane. We'll have a chat at the next home game, Shane.
Do you know Shane?
Yeah, of course I know Shane. Barnsley are not good enough for the playoffs, no. When I say this, Ben, I say that was the most boring 4-3 game. Even if Lincoln had won it, because we maybe should have scored more than 3. I don't know. They weren't very good. They didn't move the ball forward. They were helped out by our horrific defending. We gave them a couple of goals. Certainly the first one, if you've seen it. But yeah, no, Keeler was good, to be fair to him. Who else had a good game for Barnsley? Did I think John Russell was good in midfield? That midfield area, they were quite particularly strong. But yeah, no, Barnsley are awful. Barnsley are not good enough. But the talk of Barnsley in the playoffs needs to stop. And yes, I know Lincoln and playoffs. Wow, yes, get over it. Barnsley are not good enough. No, they scored 4 goals yesterday. Like Kershaw says, they've scored 4 goals off an XG of what was it? 0.82.
Yeah.
So does that tell you all about us? It tells you more about us than it tells you about Barnsley. So
yeah.
I don't know, mate.
After 15 matches this year, right?
Yeah.
I'm not winding you up here, mate, because look, as much as it's funny and I love doing it, there's nothing else better on this earth, because that's what you do to me. Do you know what I mean? That after last year of me offering you 10th, and we stay up.
Talking from the flat below. Are you talking from the flat below?
What?
It sounds like you're talking from the flat below, like below the level that I'm. Sorry. Just I can just hear a little noise. You had that coming.
The club that are doing their best to join me next season in League 2. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
tell you what, we'd be absolutely knackered if you got
League 2 live of Lay. Come on, let's all get involved.
His job. No, well, we'd have to do well. Lincoln had 25 points in the first 15 games of season. They've in the last 19 games, they've got 18 points.
Yes,
relegation form.
It is relegation form.
You look at it, that it's poor, and I don't know. I think that individual players are falling out with your manager now, and again, you look at it, your losses, in fairness, are coming by a goal, but yesterday wasn't a 4-3 game. Let's be honest. As an outsider, that you look at, good game out. Do you know what I mean? You think 7, you need to be there and think Lincoln City weren't brilliant, and the stats are mentioned, but in the actual game, they haven't been great for a while now. They beat Mansfield and they beat Peterborough, they beat Northampton, but I do worry about this Lincoln side going forward. And for the first time now, that I think that this progressive football club that has always been a club that, yes, have had a low budget, but have always aimed for the stars and always thought, we can beat you, we can beat you, we beat you. Now you're thinking, everybody's looking at Lincoln going, I think that an end of an era. And then you look at this team now, a bit of an end of an era is coming. And I know that you've added players. I think that you'll lose 3 key players in the summer, which are going to be they're not going to be impossible to replace, but you're not going to get the same quality on Lincoln City money. Let's be honest about that. You'll get money that'll be reinvested. Manager's been with your centre forwards for a long while, and nothing against Freddie Draper, nothing against Ben House, nothing against those, John
Collins good. James Collins is good.
Collins is good, but he's on the older side, and he's just coming to the football club. But I mean, to start the season with the forwards that you had, it was quite poor. And when you're loaning out players that are thriving elsewhere and smiling again, that says everything you need to know. I just feel that you need a man. I think that Skabala, you can tell that he's worked with young footballers. that he's very territorial. He's very much like a teacher, very much like, no, this is, you play by my rules and these are the standards. And coming into men's football, it's very different at the lower league. And for me, and I said this so often, man management is the most important thing you can have. You've got good coaches at that football club. And I think Skabala is an excellent coach. Nothing but the good way to say it about a coach.
He's a coach, he's a head. He's a first team coach, not a head coach.
100%. And I think that when it went well last year, he took the praise. And yeah, I worry about you going forward. Look, his mid-table pretty much as they come. You're fiddling out a little bit, and this one positive to end for Lincoln. This 3 years ago will be an absolutely outstanding season for Lincoln City. Look at this. Sometimes you take it for granted how far Lincoln have come and what you expect now. You're disappointed if you don't go and get 70+ points every season. You're disappointed if you don't go to Oakwell and win. You're disappointed if you don't beat sides at home like Blackpool, like Leyton Orient, like Charlton. Though that's how the standards now have grown. And you were disappointed coming away this season after not beating Birmingham. Come on. So I think there is positives there. I don't think sacking Skabala logically on a 3-year deal is the right term plan, because then your budget's planned. And I don't know. I think that there'll be I think for the first time in a long while there'll be a massive rebuild at this football club in the summer.
Well, yeah, and I think the head coach will go. If you want my honest opinion, I think he'll go. I think he has to go. It's almost getting to the point where I'm almost wanting to lose, so that the process is. I
told you that ages ago.
Is sped up a little bit. Yeah, Ben, like you, most of last season, yesterday didn't hurt at all. Didn't bother me. The goals was just flying in. Weren't not good enough. The everything that you hear going on behind the scenes is just really toxic. Players don't want to come back. Players want to leave. And to me, the one man in charge of building and creating an atmosphere around the training ground is the head coach and his staff. And he's got to be good at it, because he needs to build an environment where these players can thrive. And we've got so many young players, but we've got the 4th youngest team squad in the league. He needs to be able to build. He needs to be able to provide a really good environment. Thank you, Shane. And it hasn't worked. I think he was riding off the back of exceptional players last year. Lucas Jensen, Lasse Sorensen, Ethan Arahan was levels above where he has been this year, and Joe Taylor, who was an exceptional loanee that you never be able to afford the quality of because you're Lincoln City. We've got to do it a different way. And ultimately, in my opinion, this is my opinion, and it's not one shared with a lot of Lincoln fans, I think the director of football is doing a really good job. He's bringing in players that we can develop now and sell on for the future, which is what we need to do at this level to try and get in the top 6, because we need money to compete with. We can't compete with ready-made players with the likes of Charlton, with the likes of Bolton, with the likes of Barnsley. Them sort of clubs can pay double. We're even being overtaken by clubs like Stevenage, like Leyton Orient, like Burton. Do you know what I mean? All with bigger budgets than Lincoln. So yeah, no, I think it's for me, I like the director of football. I would be in favour of keeping him and trying to get a refresh in the summer. Jez has done a great job. For me, it's the head coach's job to make these players better and allow them to produce on the weekend. And I think it says a lot, Ben, that you look at the players that we've got out on loan. Young JJ's smashed it at Burton. What's Rob got at Donny? He scored twice yesterday. 6 and 10.
Yeah,
that's nearly as many.
That's
nearly as many as Benny. That's more than Ben House has scored this year. That's more than Freddie
Delican last season as well.
Hey,
if we're going to go back to last season, Hakeem Delican as well.
Hakeem Delican, yeah.
I know there's a difference, but for me, between Doncaster and Lincoln, the two sides, yes, I know that Doncaster have got a really good squad. And also one thing I'll say, that I know some of these are cups. Skabala's managed one more game than Mark Kennedy. He's got 7 more points than Mark Kennedy. Now, this style of play again, and remember, Skabala's had a better team. He's been back better. He's got players that now are more mature, like Ethan Arahan, and they are looking a better team for me. And don't get me wrong, he's improved them. But it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, season's over, mate. Season's over. Season's been dead a long time. So,
Yeah.
just get for me now, and I've said it to a couple of blokes at work. Get to 50 points.
Yeah.
And then for me, play the players that are going to be here next year. Try and get them as much game time as you can.
For me,
see where we go.
It's nice because I had a little chat with Ethan Aron actually, and I just said at Christmas when we went into the playoffs, I was getting a bit worried. I just said, right, you're the ringleader in this. You need to stop performing so well. I need you to come off the boil a little bit and just try and peck Lincoln back a little bit. Not just because of Jake, but we need him in League One next year because I want this show to continue long term. And this lad needs to be in League One because we've seen what happens when people leave League One. Things end, and I don't want things to end. So come on.
Yeah. Well, look, Ben. League One is set to be a weaker league next year, in my opinion. I don't think there'll be as many big budgets around as there have been this year. So, I think we stand more of a chance on an even kill than we do now.
Can I also just ask? There's 185 people in the chat. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe down below. It's free to do so. And over half of you haven't subscribed. So everybody go together now, press subscribe. Let's all do it together and all like together as well. Let's get to 100 likes. It'd be greatly appreciated. There's still another hour of this Bonanza League One show. We're 36 minutes in. We've done 3 games. That is...
Yeah, well, that's partly my fault.
Yeah, it's been weighted because we gradually get... There's a 0-0 and there's a couple of games that will get 2 minutes worth of coverage. I keep changing my mind. I'm a bit like a woman. I keep changing my mind.
Which part of the country are we going to, Ben?
We're going to CRALWEY. Yeah, right.
I'm happy with that.
Gary Bowyer would be my manager of the year if Burton were to stay up. I'd like to revise that and still stick with it. But Harris, right? He came into the
David's not going to like you, mate.
He's not. But no, nothing away from Gary Bowyer. He's done fantastic. But he came in with 15 games to go, 12 points adrift. And Burton have a much better squad than Cambridge do. Burton shouldn't have been down there to start with. Cambridge should have been, realistically, with that squad, no disrespect. Cambridge had won 5 times in 31 games and had scored 30 goals all season, conceding 56. They've now won back-to-back games 2-0, and it's only a start. And look, I'm not going to go, all sunshine and rainbows when we win, and I'm not going to go all negative when we lose, not to turn into Lee Johnson there after he said something like that in the book of after Reading away. Which
one summer doesn't make a swallow, did he say?
Yeah, one summer doesn't make a spring, and one spring doesn't make a spring. And then he said something.
Probably not the people to ask about.
Will know that. Anyway, Cambridge win back-to-back games and cut the gap by 50% just to 6 points. Would he be manager of the year if he get these boys up? Still a long way to go. Since the 18th of January, they've won 3, drawn 3, lost 3, actually. They've drawn against Wycombe, Lincoln and Bolton. So you think, 3 good points, really, and beat Mansfield, Stockport and Crawley. It lost at Birmingham, Exeter and Rotherham. Well, 2 of those are bad. The Exeter defeat got Harris into a job too. You'd probably take that to get him in the job, wouldn't you? Cambridge in the last 2 matches have scored 4 goals from an expected goals of 1.01, right, and an average of possession of 35%. They've conceded 0 from an XG of 3.48 against and an average possession against of 65. So that just tells me that don't give Cambridge the ball. What Cambridge will be under Harris, they'll be hard to break down, pinned in a good shape, and they'll get the ball forward quickly as they can into the front man and be trying and be, as good as they can be as well. A great victory for them. Crawley now have only won one of their last 21 games on a Saturday, drawing 5, losing 15 of which, losing each of their last 5 on a Saturday as well. Saturdays away or Saturdays at home, away, it isn't very joyful for the Red Devils. And Crawley have just won one of their last 7 league games now as they plummet towards a relegation. Walk me through it.
Yeah, well, you know where Crawley go next, don't you? So you just know that they're going to get 3 points on Tuesday night. So
they're good on Tuesday nights.
Sorry, yeah, I know they do. They beat us 3-0, and that was
pathetic.
The whole
pathetic.
That was pathetic, Gates. So Sue, get ready for. I was about to say Sue, get ready for round 2 then, but I understand that can sound a little bit ambiguous, so I'd rather not do that. What do I say about this? Yeah, I agree with you, Ben, about Neil Harris. Actually, Neil Harris is. I I think if he keeps them up in half the games that Gary Bowyer's done, that's
With
well
a worse
worthy.
squad.
Yeah, with a far worse squad, with a far worse budget than Burton Albion, I think that would eclipse what Gary Bowyer could do at Burton Albion. Yesterday, I thought they were good value. 2 different types of goals. The own goal, obviously, from Kamari Doyle, but Paul Digby. I was confident that Cambridge were going to win yesterday. Under Neil Harris, we saw it last weekend against Stockport. They've got that resilience about them. They were really good. Neil Harris, man motivator. He's done it at Cambridge before. We saw when he went in last time that we had a massive uptick in result with Cambridge, didn't we? And I can see that happening again. Not to be too reactionary, because the win against Stockport was great, but this win was particularly good as well. Cambridge have got some really big games coming up, Ben, from what I recall. I'm just quickly going to get them up. But if Neil Harris can get some, so they play they've got Stevenage, Wigan, Blackpool, and then they have a Cambridgeshire derby in just over 2 weeks' time at home to Peterborough. So that could be extremely fascinating. But yeah, he's gone in, stripped them back to basics. They've got that little bit of star quality in Stokes, who can win a game for them. Their defenders are now starting to put the bodies on the line for the manager, because they know how much they get from Neil Harris. So yeah, in terms of Crawley, did Crawley look done? Look at the league table, Ben. I don't think so. If we're saying that Cambridge is still in it, I think you're still saying that Crawley are in it. We're, how many weeks ago was it we were saying Shrewsbury were going to stay up, Ben?
Yeah, Crawley. This is what teams find. Crawley do this. They look done, and
they get done it, and then they just go and get a result randomly. Tuesday night.
Yeah,
it's
so
happening.
random.
Yeah.
Like Shrewsbury, another one. We will be going through the League One table today, by the way. That's a definite. But Also, a massive thanks to Scott Aspinall. Loving your life, been following for 4 years. Oh, so you were there when the show was good, when it was just me on my own. So yeah, you'll remember that. Really brightened up my Sunday. I'm glad that. Although when this show was, I've told this story. This man comes on my show and goes, "To be honest with you," he goes, "your show's quite poor on your own," and he meant it. He goes, "Oh, it's much better with me on. You should have me on full time." So I'll see you Sunday. And I went, "Yeah, see you Sunday." He goes, "See you Sunday." That's how we came on this show as well. We've come a long way with Bolton fans since that clip that went back when me and Jake Bolton fans about selling out Charlton away, or did they get double the points, right? As a joke. Well, 5 days later, Bolton Wanderers played Fleetwood and could have relegated us. And I went to Bolton away thinking, what have I just done? Like, what have I just done? And Chris Dawson in Cole is on quote tweets giving us absolute abuse.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So we're going to them now.
Your mate Leah.
I know, yeah. Oh, yeah. Your mate Leah. It's a great result for them. Again, keep the comments coming. Next up, we're going to the mem.
Are we?
Come on.
Right. Should we get Kershaw ready? Because he wanted me to do a voice note to him this weekend. Jack Kershaw, this is your moment.
Oh, hang on. Talking to Kershaw, he's got a question for you.
This is an inside joke that I don't understand. So I'm going to have to politely pass on that. But I know Kershaw's about to get very excited because I'm about to say Bristol Rovers. And this is for Ben Gill.
Right.
Have fun with that, my friend.
Rotherham United. Right. Are you ready for this? Now, this could take a while. So, also involving the high-scoring thriller with Bristol Rovers and Rotherham. Rotherham running out 3-2 winners thanks to goals from Sam Nombe, his 92nd minute winner. Now, they also won late on at Cambridge this year. They've only won 3 away games all year. However, Rotherham's away day curse on a Saturday at 3 p.m. is over. They've gone 35 matches without a victory. Can you tell me the side they last beat away from home on a Saturday 3 years ago, and it was in League One? And it was a big, big result at the time. A team that were in the top 10.
So 3 years ago is what? 21, 22?
Yeah.
That year, though, I'd tried to forget that season. Who would have been? So you're talking like maybe a Sunderland.
However, that was at 12:30, and that kept Fleetwood up.
Oh, so maybe someone like that league that season would be Sunderland. Hold on.
They're in the Championship now, this team.
Well, it could be. It could be Sheffield Wednesday. It could be Plymouth.
Could be, mate. You
Portsmouth.
can have a guess here.
I'm going to stick my neck on the line and say it was Sheffield Wednesday.
Wrong, Plymouth. So since
They always win at Wednesday.
Wycombe away, they drew. They've drew to QPR, lost away at Cardiff, drew at Luton, lost to West Brom, drew at Watford, drew at Blackpool, lost at Birmingham. Everybody does, don't worry. Drew at Hull, lost to Bristol City, lost at Stoke.
What?
Away the lads, lost at Sunderland, lost at Huddersfield, lost at Cardiff. I'm not even going to try and do that. Drew at Southampton, lost at Watford, drew at Birmingham.
Why are you trying to do
lost to Plymouth, lost to Leicester, drew to Middlesbrough, lost at Leeds, lost at QPR, lost at Norwich, lost to Swansea, lost to Bristol City, lost to Wycombe, drew at Charlton, drew at Shrewsbury, drew at Peterborough, lost at Crawley, lost at Mansfield, drew at Huddersfield, lost at Burton, lost at Birmingham, lost at Reading, won at Bristol Rovers. The charitable case, Bristol Rovers, always giving teams a head start. 3 years to the day on Wednesday, I think it was. However, it's a massive result. Steve Evans coming out after the game, crediting Bristol Rovers, calling them a great club in the biggest city in Bristol. Made a few friends there. For me, there's a lot of points you made that I agree with. I think Bristol Rovers are a fantastic football club that, to be honest with you, it's the right way, Bristol Rovers. I'd love to go down because I'd love to play them next year. You know what I mean? That's I mean that in the nice way possible because I actually really like going there as well. They gave one thing that I'll stand by. They gave us a free food and free drink last year. So I think there was like 50 of us that travelled on a Tuesday night, and I just thought touch of class. However, we're giving more than pies out. Yes, if they give more than pies out yesterday, they might have sold more than 50. That's all I'll say. Because there was a more fun.
Was it a memorable away day last season, Ben, for you?
Yeah, we won.
Yeah, but it was memorable for all the wrong reasons, wasn't it?
Oh, shut up. Yeah. They were dark days then. November.
I thought it was
November 23 till March 2024 was nappers. We don't go there. If you know, you know.
Yeah, legally we don't go there. You're right, Ben.
Shut up. Talk to me about the game. Sam Nomble.
Sam Nomble's the man, mate. Sam Nomble, the man with the magic hat that nombles the ball into the back of the goal. It's a good win for Rotherham, this one. But yeah, no, I agree with you on Bristol Rovers. They like to give teams a bit of a leg up, don't they? The defending for some of the goals are quite comical. I had a message off Ben, our friend who's a Bristol Rovers supporter, pretty much straight after the full-time whistle blown, saying, "Right, that's it, we've gone down." I think maybe it was a little bit hasty, but I can understand where he's coming from. Looking at the stats for this game, Rotherham, slightly more shots on target, just the 4 on target for Gas, double the touches in the Bristol Rovers penalty area. Rotherham probably deserved to nick it, and it was a shame that they had to do it so late because Bristol Rovers would have got to 90 minutes, having got back in the game and gone, that's a pretty decent point because these are Rotherham are a team in the next gaggle, aren't they? They're in the above bracket in the table to what we're considering Bristol Rovers. So yeah, no, it's a shame for them to lose, giving out 3 points like it's going out of fashion. But for Rotherham, it's good, mate. Their season's been over for a long time. Whether they keep, do you think they'll keep Steve Evans going into next season?
I do. I think that you've got to, again, he signed old players, so it's like, well, it's not like he's taking young players that are developing, are they? And look, he signed players on, I think, 2-year deals as well, didn't he, as well? So it's a heavy squad.
The next manager would be stuck with this squad anyway, wouldn't they? And it's not like Rotherham have got one of the biggest budgets to just move them all on and get rid of them or pay them off. So, yeah, no, I completely agree. They have got some useful players in there, like you say, Powell, obviously Sam Nombe, who scored the goals.
Yeah, fantastic player.
Adoffin's a decent little player. Zach Jules, Reece James.
There's a lot of players that I don't think are good enough to take them to the next level. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. They probably it's funny because we say Bristol Rovers, we say Rotherham need to do another rebuild, but that's what they did in the summer. So it gets to a point where they're going to do so many rebuilds that the managers, that ultimately, there's just going to be such a blend of different players that anyone is going to struggle to do well. And the aims at Rotherham in this league is to get promoted. And I think, Steve Evans might fall short with that quota and he might get the sack soon.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Peterborough 3, Shrewsbury 1. John Marquis took a leaf out of my co-host leaf this week by lasting just 13 seconds. Jake?
It was 9.
It was
9.
Was it 9? Well, anyway, 9 seconds then. It was a personal best, that, mate. Anyway, do you think it was a red card? Because I'm going to say one thing to you. I want to see what you say, and I'll come in with that.
Yeah, well, the camera doesn't show you the best angle, does it? But
no.
There looks like there is an arm across the face of, is it Oscar Varlin that gets clattered?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can understand why I can understand, but then that early in the game, is it right? 9 seconds in, is it? I think it's the joint quickest.
No, it says 13 seconds.
I'm sure it was 9.
No, Gareth Ainsworth, I saw it on BBC Radio Shop.
Oh, well, David told me it was 9 seconds. So if you want to have a go at anybody, have a go at David Wilson-Turner. He's in the chat.
Not my fault that you don't do your prep right.
I know we were all sticking up for him earlier, but David, you really sold me a kipper there.
Good lad, David.
I don't think he meant to do it. No, yeah, I can understand why they've given a red, Ben, can't you?
Yeah. For me, if you're giving that as a red card, there'll be a lot more red cards in football. That's all I'll say. I can understand why they've done it, but I think that he goes, I don't think he maliciously goes like that. I think he maliciously goes up to go get the ball to try and pin.
Even players are prone to diving, mate.
His back. For me, it was, probably that, Richard.
Prone to diving, mate.
However, a spirited Shrewsbury performance. However, another defeat, 4 defeats on the spin there. The kind of the worst period under Gareth Ainsworth after they were just getting better. It was a hugely important game at the bottom of the table. When you look at it, Peterborough United continued their really good resurgence, shall we say, with a 3-1 victory over the Salop. Shrewsbury again, 10 men for 89 minutes away at London Road, a ground that they have been really poor at. When I read this stat before, I thought you could swap it for Lincoln, couldn't you? And you wouldn't be mistaken. Shrewsbury have lost 9 of their last 11 away trips away at Peterborough, winning 1, drawing 1. Their only away win coming at London Road in February 2019. Shrewsbury lost 4 on the bounce for the first time under Gareth Ainsworth. They lost 3 on the bounce and followed up with 2 wins and 3 draws and a loss. A big deficit now. I think they're 8 points adrift with 36 to play. Again, this squad wasn't good enough at the start of the year. They lost key players. They were battling and they're spirited, but just not got the quality. Peterborough claimed victory in successive League One games for the first time since August. Good to see them off to Wembley, breaking the Hollywood script. Peterborough United have won each of their last 6 league games against Shrewsbury, scoring 2+ goals in each of those matches as well. A good victory for them, 3 points. 3 goals, and now 4 points off the relegation zone and just 19 points off the playoffs.
Yeah, well, season's not over for Peterborough, is it? Because knowing them, they might put on some sort of insane run, especially when Poku gets bad. But yeah, no, it's been a really good win for Peterborough. That win away at Huddersfield started it all off, didn't it? And then to go to Wrexham, 2-0 down with 20 minutes to go and beat them on penalties. I don't know if you've seen the footage of I think it's Bradley Eovan's goal where he scores the equaliser, where the backdrop to that goal is K Sarah being sung by the Wrexham fans.
Yeah.
And I understand there's a bloke that comments every week that I have an agenda against Wrexham, so I apologise against that. I apologise for that. But I thought that was quite hilarious. And I don't often celebrate and smile when Peterborough United do well. But that was pretty much the time that I was smiling. I'm sure the rest of the whole EFL was. Certainly Birmingham City fans wouldn't want the whole palaver of another Hollywood derby at Wembley. On to yesterday, I thought they were good. Abraham Ado, he's yet to really arrive in a Peterborough shirt. Yesterday, I thought he definitely did that. I think they were sold down a river with him a little bit because they were told he was going to come in straight away and be the Efron Mason Clark replacement. And well, that's a pretty big name to fill, isn't it? Certainly at Peterborough United, given what the numbers that he put up last season. and he's not quite hit the heights, but he's only a young lad. Malik Mothersill as well. He's another one that's stepped up over the last couple of weeks. He missed a penalty on Wednesday night, but scored the rebound. He's one of them that's had a lot of stick off Posh fans, but it looks like he's ended up coming good. Teo Eden obviously find himself getting on the score sheet as well, which was nice to see. Chris Clark as well, Ben. So there's both an ex-Imp and an ex-Fleetwood boy on the score sheet in this game, just to make it all about us like we normally do.
Max I would love us.
But good win for Peterborough. Really, really good week for them. Getting to Wembley, two wins from 2 in the league. Give themselves a little bit of breathing room above the teams below them. They now jump above Northampton with a game in hand. If they win that game in hand, Ben, well, they can get up to 40 points, which nearly puts them where we are, which is quite worrying. So, yeah, really, really good win for them. Shrewsbury, again, Ben, it's a thing under Gareth Ainsworth, and I would have said it about his Wycombe team, that sometimes they are just a bit dirty. And while they are streetwise, sometimes they get away with it, and it's really frustrating as the opponent. But sometimes they don't, and ultimately they go down to 10 men. There was an incident one there with someone sent it to me in a group chat earlier on Twitter about George Lloyd maybe getting a penalty, but I don't think it's a penalty. I think Oscar Varlin's. I think the contact starts outside the box, and it carries on into. Well, I think it carries on to just outside, and George Lloyd throws himself down inside the box. So I'd have been worried if the referee had given it. But yeah, no, really big win for Posh. Shrewsbury, Ben, are we counting Shrewsbury out of it now because they're 6 points behind Burton?
Yeah.
They're 8 points away from safety, and the teams above the dotted line have played less games. Like, we put a lot of our faith into Gareth Ainsworth. Is that slowly but surely dwindling for you a little bit?
Yeah, 100%. I think they'll have to win 7 of the next.
Well, they've got to come here, so that's 1.
They've won 7 all season. For me, I said this at the start of the year, Shrewsbury would finish bottom. They had momentum when they won those games. A point they got within 3. Look, if they don't win, it looks a little bit better the next game, but it looks for me now very, very, very tough. They've got Bristol R, Exeter, Burton. The next 3, I think they'll need 7 minimum. We'll know a lot about this side in a fortnight.
Well, we keep saying that, and we keep learning that they're not very good, don't we?
Look, I think that Gareth Ainsworth, will think in 2 weeks' time, not to quote Oasis, if they don't win any of those next 3, they'll be thinking with the owner, the next owner that comes in, talk tonight. We'll have to talk tonight and think, put plans in for next season.
What a strenuous Oasis link that is.
Hey, mate, so this year I got a bet that I had to get 20 Oasis songs. Go and watch my Rotherham at home vlog.
I've seen it.
You haven't already. Again, we'll move on quickly. If you haven't already, please make sure you do drop a like as well. Stockport 2, Blackpool 1. Stockport promotion push actually continue with a comeback victory over the Seasiders. Benoit Anderson's second half double gave the host a 2-1 win. Anderson. Well, there you are. Gave those a 2-1 win to keep them in contention for an automatic promotion place.
Can we give credit to Ian Dowden, who's waited 58 minutes to put that comment in? Fair play, Ian. You have more patience than I ever would.
Yeah, fantastic. Muppet. You. Not you, Ian. Him.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I just noticed it. Yeah, good win for Stockport, Ben, wasn't it? That was big for Anderson because he's obviously new in, coming from Iceland where he scored a load of goals. People think he's going to be the next Louis Barry. So to go and win a game almost by himself is incredibly impressive. So certainly against one of your teams, Ben.
Am I allowed to speak? Yeah.
Sometimes I feel that.
Yeah, so. I don't get you. But guess what? I can do what I want, son. It's my show. That's better. Oh, that's heaven. Brilliant, that. Anyway, Stockport now 4 points off with Wycombe Wanderers. Yes, they played the game more, 2 points behind Wrexham as well. Now, Wrexham and Wycombe slowly stumbling over that line a little bit. Wycombe only won 2 in the last 6. Wrexham won 3 in the last 6. Stockport County have won 6, drawn 1, lost 1 in their last 8. Sorry, won 7, I think, actually. Won 7, drawn 1, lost 1 in their last 9 now as well. A big victory for them. Stockport County have actually completed the first league double over Blackpool since 1994 and 1995. First loss in 12 for Blackpool since losing on Boxing Day, which they shouldn't have lost. That dubious penalty as well. They've only collected 17 points in their 11-game unbeaten run, which is 5 or 6 short of where you want it to be really designed as an unbeaten run. Stockport County, great victory for them. They've won 50% of the games. They are now 6 clear Bolton Wanderers in that 7th spot, but only 4 points behind Wycombe. They're not, are they?
Yeah, I think there might be in the automatic promotion. We did a EFL debate with Gab this week, and we spoke to Russ from the Scarf Bagara War, and he basically just said they're taking it game by game, and they're not thinking about it. But the more they win, the more likely that it's going to happen that Stockport are going to finish in there. You know, they've had some good backing, haven't they? The man that I can't believe plays for Stockport County, Ben, and many people the same, is Ollie Norwood. Like genuinely, I'm so surprised that he's kicking around in League One. He's an outstanding footballer. But yeah, you look at that team across the pitch, Ben, and the one thing that I like about Stockport, maybe more than I like about Wrexham, is they've got depth and they've got quality and depth, similar to Wycombe. So which is why maybe I'd favour those two in terms of a top 2 berth than Wrexham. Like the depth up front, like for example, Carl Wootton, they have Sam Cosgrove waiting in reserve. They've got Alafe who plays out wide, but they've got Anderson who, you know, comes on at half time and wins the game for them. Will Collar comes on, but they've got someone like, you know, Mike Hamilton, Callum Camps comes on, who's experienced at this level, Ben, as you will know with Fleetwood. There's your Fleetwood mention. Jaden Fevrier, really good young upcoming sort of player. They've got a lot of this youth and experience, and it's really working. And what I think will help them is the consistency of Dave Challoner. Him being in that job for a long time and being successful in that job, I think he'll have the know-how how to win these games later in the season where you're playing against pretty much almost every team in the league has something to play for. He's a really good tactician. He sometimes, for my liking, he calls players out maybe one too many times, but I think it works. It gets a reaction out of it. Yeah, Richie Wellens. It gets reactions out of his players. So yeah, I think it was a good win, and I agree with you on Stockport. I think they're really in this top 2 battle. And I think if you'd have said to a Stockport fan at the start of the season, they wouldn't have believed you. For Blackpool, Ben, if they're going to finish in the playoffs, Ben, they're going to have to be flawless, aren't they? They are literally going to have to be flawless. They're going to have to win like probably all of their remaining games. They probably need to get another 35 points out of what? How many they got? 3 times 16.
Blackburn never get in the playoffs. They're not good.
No, but I'm saying they need to get like.
I know they are.
They could probably drop about 10 points for the between.
You can imply, but they're not because I don't mean to be horrible, but I don't think the squad's good enough. I thought at the start of the year that Sadler didn't back the manager enough. That first and quickly, a managerial change very early on, and the team is it's a decent competitive League One squad. Don't get me wrong, but it's lacking all sorts. I think Ashley Fletcher, to be fair, has actually been better than a lot of people thought. I think he's nearly in double figures. He's got 7 or 8, to be fair to him. We'll give him credit. Give credit to Huddersfield. Before this one, Huddersfield had just won one of their last 8 league games played on a Saturday. So making sure they did win on a Saturday was a vital 3 points as well. Because they did beat Barnsley last time out as well. Stevenage are winless across their last 3 Football League games against Huddersfield, now losing both of these games against Town. Stevenage have lost 4 in the last 5 league games, as many in their last 14 matches prior. I think I went on TikTok before and said that I think it's been a good season for Stevenage. When you look at it and you think about the results they've had, they beat Barnsley home and away, they beat Wrexham away from home. Had what? Sorry,
and at home.
Yeah. What?
They've done the double over Wrexham, haven't they?
Yeah, and at home, yeah, as well. So. And they've been competitive. Charlie Keegan said it brilliantly. If they didn't do so well last year, people will be talking about it. They should have been out of the Football League just 3 or 4 years ago as well. 44 points. Never really threatened the playoffs this year, but never really looked over the shoulder. and they're pretty much safe with 13, 14 matches to go.
Yeah, it's been a really good year. I think quite a few pundits had Stevenage to fall down, but to go down. But I feel like they had a really good summer window. They recruited a lot of good players, like Dan Kemp, for example. He's come in and made a big impact. Harvey White stepped up this year. Lewis Freestone, Cooper in goals, kept Ashby Hammond out the team who played such a prominent role in their rise to nearly the playoffs last year. But they've also added to that in this window in the form of Brandon Hanlon, who obviously scored again for them on Saturday. Carl Edwards starting out on the left-hand side. Yeah, they've got a decent squad. It's been a really good year for them. They probably don't have one of the bigger budgets, but they're using it really well. And there's a lot of discourse about Alex Ravel, but for me, he's doing a really good job. Particularly playing good football, good attacking football. Yeah, they don't score, they don't concede many, but they're an attritional League One team in the middle of the table. If you'd have said that to Stevenage fans when they were worried they were going to get relegated, if it wasn't for Macclesfield's expulsion from the Football League, I think they probably would have laughed at you. So
and Berries as well.
Really good. Hey,
and Berries as well.
Yeah, and they and Stevenage as well. They I think they're one of the only football clubs in the Football League to turn over a profit this year.
Yeah.
So well done.
Awesome. A big thank you to our mate David, who's just donated $4.99 as well. Appreciate that, David, and always like talking to David about football as well. He's always a good topic of conversation to talk football, or Burton Albion as well. Huddersfield, onto them quickly again. Great victory for them as well. Again, hit and miss, aren't they? They've won 3 in the last 5, but lost 2. They're not vintage to watch, but the game was pretty much done for them within the first kind of 24 minutes, wasn't it? With scoring those 2 early goals. Brendan Hamlin did get one for Stevenage, and 2 goals, from Marshall and Longwick for Town as well. Look, they only had 8 shots yesterday. They only have 5 on target. They're not vintage, not great to watch. Dion Charles was still waiting to really get into his stride. Obviously, Joe Taylor came in and got injured. So it's been a bit of an up and down season for them. A lot of things have gone against them. But again, normally I'd have a little bit of a line to... Normally I'd have a line, to start off with a football club, right? Sorry.
Okay, Ben. J.R. Kershaw, that's another clip for you to put on Twitter.
Yeah.
Well done, mate. How on earth you can talk about Huddersfield, anything like that?
No, it's not about Huddersfield, right? No, let's start off with a paragraph of, blah, 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 blah. So what I'm going to do for the next game, Birmingham City 1, Wycombe 0. Birmingham City await their shot in League One. They're still waiting. You're going to be in for it. It's going to be tougher than you expect. Birmingham are still waiting for that to happen. The 32
Just
games
wipe your
in.
nose, Ben. You've got a bit of something on your nose. Might
Hello,
be that
Blues
line you've
fans.
just done.
200 of you in here, I'm guessing.
Hello, Blues fans.
Birmingham City are one of 5 clubs in the 92 that are unbeaten in 2025. Can you please tell me the clubs?
What, the clubs that are unbeaten in 2025?
Yeah.
Oh, Leeds.
Yeah.
Burnley.
Yeah.
How many are there? 9.
5. There's Premier League as well. You're top.
Well, it'll be Liverpool then.
Yeah. And then League 2.
One team that's Bradford.
No. Think about a club that is memorable for nappers.
Oh.
Me and you.
Eh?
Me and you on T-Flop.
Oh. So play Port Vale.
Correct. Only Bradford City in 2025 actually have more points than Blues. Bradford have 29. Birmingham just to 27. Birmingham City took a massive step towards a title after defeating nearest rivals Wycombe to go 12 points clear and 14 points clear of third place Wrexham with a game in hand. Taylor Gardner-Hickman's first half volley was the difference as Wycombe were unable to make their way back into the game after going down to 10 men through Xavier Simmons being sent off the field as well. A great start from Birmingham City Stato as well. Shout out to him. He produces some unbelievable stats that you honestly are on another level. Taylor Gardner-Hickman is the youngest English centre midfielder scoring back-to-back league games since a certain Jude Bellingham. I don't know where he's been since, but I can't imagine it's been anywhere better than League One. He wouldn't get in over Pakery Water, would he? Since conceding to Rotherham first in that game on the 1st of February. Blues have scored 10 goals back without reply as well. Their 17th clean sheet of the season. Birmingham have just lost 2 of their last 19 league games played on a Saturday. Wycombe, it was just their second defeat in 16 away matches this season, winning 9, drawing 5. Failing to score this is the first game they failed to score in their last 21 away games as well, which is a very good stat as well. Birmingham, it wasn't vintage. They had to rely on a bit of help from Will Norris, a mistake for him at the back. But Birmingham City, their 23rd victory of the season, their 54th goal, the 17th clean sheet, the 76th point, 30 away from breaking a record with just 42 to play for.
Yeah, they're good at football, aren't they?
Yeah, 42, yeah.
Yeah, they're good at football. I think they might have a chance of breaking the EFL record for number of points in the season. So looking forward to my visit to St Andrews next weekend. Please go lightly on us. That would be massively appreciated. Yeah, they're a bit good, aren't they? I love how Ryan Allsop got the assist as well. Do you know what I mean? I love
his distribution second to none, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, Ben, and to shoehorn Lincoln in, he made a great save for us at Wembley as he won the Papa John's trophy. So, Blues fans, there's your onus. Ryan Allsop's already won it in the last 7 years, so he's going to win it again.
I've also been in an end that's won the Papa John's or the Virtue.
Are you going?
I want to. I'd like to.
You'll definitely get a ticket in the Peterborough because they won't sell out.
Yeah. No, they haven't.
It's a joke, Ben.
You can't joke. You can't joke on YouTube.
It's all part of my alter ego. I just pick fights with people. It's what I do.
Sheffield Wednesday fans love you.
Some of them do, actually.
Do they?
Yeah, no, some of them do.
I wonder who.
Eh?
I wonder who.
Yeah, look, no, they're good, mate, aren't they? They're just outstanding. I've run out of ways to say Birmingham are outstanding. They to win against a team that were reportedly in a title race with them. All 9s and 10s outside the park, really. All of them to a man, outstanding. Even players like Willem Williamson, who hasn't perhaps played as much football as he would have wanted over the last couple of weeks, he's come in and made a really big impact. Ethan Laird didn't start the season. He's made a really, it was Taylor Gardner-Hickman playing as that, really attacking right back. Ethan Laird's come in and made that position his own, forcing them to play Gardner-Hickman, who's naturally a central midfielder, out as a wide player. And it's worked because he's scored a couple of really big goals recently. Kieran Dow's come in and massively implemented, what Chris Davis wants to do. I think it tells you all, Ben. I think you can tell a lot about Birmingham City and how good they are when you look at the bench. Christian Bielik, who went for multi-millions of pounds to Derby when he left Arsenal. Hanley, who's one of the most, he's made one of the most amount of caps for Scotland since the turn of the millennium. Hansen, who they spent money on, that's maybe not worked as well as they would have wanted to. Luke Harris had a great spell with Exeter. Lucas Jutkovic is a bagsman in the Championship. Peacock Farrell, who came on, and Samstead, I'm assuming, is someone that maybe has come through the academy. It's not a name I'm familiar with. They have an outstanding squad. They have an outstanding manager. And, people give you a lot of stick when you say Chris Davis has done a really good job. But it's all well and good having the money, but you've still got to win. You can spend money on absolute dross. Think of how many football clubs in the league and throughout the Premier League have spent significant sums of money on absolutely rubbish. Birmingham invested the money on the right players, the right head coach, and they're going to go into the Championship absolute. Looking forward to it. They're going to bounce into the Championship, Ben, and I wouldn't put it past if we see Birmingham do a double this year. 2 trophies.
100%. And they'll go up with style as well. Supporters have enjoyed it, haven't you? You've come down, you've saw.
Everyone knows, though, if you're going to get promoted, you've got to lose to Lincoln City at home. So you've just got to do it.
There's a stage where only Ipswich had lost 3 games at home. And it was Lincoln, Leeds, and Liverpool. All 3 beginning
and Plymouth, when they won the league as well, they only lost they only dropped points. I can't say win because you didn't win, but they dropped points against Fleetwood, Port Vale, and Lincoln.
Yeah, but
We
did
just love
something at
making it all
home.
about us, don't we? We
Yeah,
love it.
it's so, and it's Birmingham sea level is probably on par with this squad. With squads at this level, let's be honest with you, everybody crap to bed when Birmingham
Oh
come to
God,
town.
Mansfield's back next week. Oh dear.
Oh yeah, good
Oh
luck.
dear. Oh
Um,
dear.
Burton won, Mansfield won. Burton have never lost a Football League game against Mansfield. 2 draws this season again. Could have been a win for Birmingham. It could have been a win for Burton. It could have been a loss. Lucas Aitken, maybe forgetting who he played for at one stage. Club legend of the Brewers, missing that penalty kick. I think he might have been aiming for the skies because it was an awful.
He might have been aiming for the Mansfield fans behind the goal, and I don't blame him.
Before this one, Burton had won 5 of the last 8 league games, as many as in the previous 39. So improving Burton, good point for them overall. They'll be disappointing because they're up in the game, but then you can think, well, we got a point. Whereas Cambridge, yes, they won, but Bristol Rovers lost, Exeter drew, Northampton drew, and Crawley and Shrewsbury lost. So overall, you're getting a point closer to safety. And I think that all you've got to do at this stage of the season is pick up points. Make sure you don't lose. With 12 games to go, I'll tell you what, David's angina, all I'm going to say is that last day of the season, if it comes down to it, I've been there myself, mate. Good luck. It's horrific. I was literally up from 5. I went at 5 o'clock in the morning for a walk. I couldn't deal with it that much.
Yeah, no, it's not nice. But yeah, they didn't deserve a point whatsoever. Mansfield, to be fair to them, I think their XG was nearly 3. And they only scored. Obviously, you take the 0.7 for the penalty, which Lucas Aikens expertly put high and wide. Exactly the same as Jamie Reed's penalty against Stevenage 10 days ago. But yeah, no, they were fortunate. Mansfield maybe should have put them to bed, but they're a team low on confidence. They'd lost they lost 9 out of the last 11. Mansfield. So I think for Mansfield stopping the rot, like we say, was good for them. For Burton, you know, sometimes you get points you deserve. Sometimes you pick up points that you don't deserve. Burton obviously doing that last weekend. I'm joking. And then picking up a point that maybe didn't deserve it on yesterday. JJ McKinnon played up front for them yesterday, which I was quite surprised to hear. But it seemed like he did all right, ran around a lot. Didn't have as much impact as maybe he would have wanted, but he's not playing in his natural position. I'm Bodvarsson out, Burrell out. I think if Burton had Bodvarsson and Burrell yesterday, I think maybe we're talking about Burton win rather than dropping points, but because you'd have JJ back in his position and it would be good. So yeah, no, it's tough. If they're injured and they're out for a long time, you do worry about them because they are Burton's main source of goals, maybe outside of Dan Sweeney, who just heads everything away. By the way, he scored an own goal, Ben, and he got no minus points in EFL Fantasy this week. You can score an own goal and still get. He got 18 points, right? And he scored an own goal. How's that allowed? Right?
I know.
That's a joke. Have you seen how you've done this week?
Terribly.
I've got 25 points.
I did awful. Like 48. I'm bottling it.
You got 48, and you're saying that's awful.
Yeah, I'm bottling it, mate. I'm deteriorating. Yeah. Mansfield stops the rot, doesn't it? But
Correct.
Again, it's still really, really poor. From there, Mansfield have lost 8 of the last 10 games, drawing 2, so need to find a win. Conceding 2+ in 7 of those matches. Exeter won, Northampton won. At one stage, yesterday, Exeter were in the bottom 4. They've been dragging it in and being dragged in because of other teams, fortunes, and they beat Cambridge. But in the last 22 games, they've been the worst side in the division. And that is granted. Gary Colwell blaming the pitch yesterday. They're just 3 points above the drop, but 3 points off 15th. Are Exeter in trouble? Northampton, you look at it, they've got 10 points in the last 6. They're only 4 points off the bottom 4. This is how exciting. I love being excited about the bottom 4. Honestly, it's so good. I love it. Yes, mint. I don't have to worry. So good.
Saying mint makes me you sound a lot like Flowers. He says mint an awful lot.
That was mint.
Yeah. You know how he says it as well. Oh, that's mint. That. Do you know what I mean? Flowers.
Yeah,
He'll be
mint
watching
that.
this. He'll be watching this. So shout
Is
out
he?
to
What a
Flowers.
guy.
Costello's doing all right. It's gone in at Northampton, hasn't he? He's scored a couple
Yeah,
of goals.
yeah.
Offered them something a little bit
Must have
different.
got wrong directions.
Well,
From south and north, but yeah.
well, yeah, he's also gone north in terms of division, so it's all right then. Yeah, no, a decent point for Northampton. I think with Exeter, they got saved, didn't they? Sonny Cox it's almost a year had passed since he last scored a goal, Ben. So it was about time that he got himself on the score sheet. 87 minutes. It's a point that doesn't really help either team, really. Looking at the league table, they're both precariously sort of creeping over the edge of the bottom four. Exeter 3 points, Northampton 4 points, and we're talking about a resurgent Burton Albion, a resurgent Cambridge United. They are two teams that I'd maybe worry about. And while they have got 10 points from 6, they've I don't know. They've got a run. They've got a bad run in them, haven't they? And Exeter have got games in hand, so that maybe you'd think that they'd get a couple more points, but it's not looking likely, is it? So, yeah, it was a 1-1 draw. Both teams were not great. I don't know how neither of us, when we predicted this week, predicted a draw. You went for a Cobblers win, and I went for an Exeter win. So it shows we know nothing.
Yeah, thank you to Benbow Sports. Hi guys, really bad at Crawley at the moment. Supporters directors left this morning due to poor decisions. I know we were laughing yesterday after the game, embarrassing that, by the way. Robin's got these won 6 out of 29. I granted the squad
7 out of 30 tomorrow, mate.
Yeah, the squad isn't great. Don't get me wrong, but for me, yeah, worrying that.
I won't get rid of Rob Elliott though. I don't think you.
Scott Lindsay has been sacked, and
maybe they go and get Scott Lindsay.
It's mad how 9 months ago was probably the best thing in football in the EFL, wasn't he? Really, in the lower 2 divisions. Let's end up with Wrexham 0, Bolton 0. 29 shots, 2 on target in the whole game. Wrexham have won 4, lost 4 in 2025, drawn the other 2. Wrexham missed out the opportunity to go level on points with Wycombe after being held at home. Like I say, nobody can take the initiative, can they, and just drag themselves away from each other. They always seem to match each other, or one week they'll win and draw, and the next week they'll do the opposite of each other as well. Bolton, another point gain for them, a point where they've shown nasty side to show a bit of grit about them. 2 points off the playoffs now. It's very interesting, that top half. I think it's Barnsley, Reading, Leighton Orient, Bolton, Charlton, Huddersfield, and Stockport fighting for those 3 playoff spots. And then I think it's, for me, Wycombe, Wrexham, Stockport fighting for the top 2.
Can I throw a really strange theory at you?
Yeah, you've done that all for the last 3 years.
I can see a world where Bolton sneaks second.
What?
Yeah. I see a world where Bolton can get into second place.
10 points behind with 39 to play.
Yes.
How many points do you think they'll get out of the next 39? All right, then let me go through the fixtures with you. And you say win, lose, or draw.
Me and Gav
Birmingham at home.
Me and Gav did this on Wednesday. I think they can do it.
Birmingham at home. Birmingham at home.
Birmingham at home. We've got a load of Birmingham fans in here, so I'm going to have to say that's a loss.
Burton away.
Oh, they'll win that.
Bristol Rovers away.
Win that.
Stockport at home.
I think they'll win that.
Rotherham at home.
Win that.
Blackpool away.
Win that.
Wigan away.
Lose that.
Bristol Rovers at home.
Oh, they'll batter them.
Barnsley away.
Win that.
Wycombe at home.
I think they'll win that.
Lincoln away.
3 points. Well done,
Peterborough away.
Win that.
So you think they're going to win 33 out of 39, and that would take them to 87 points?
Yeah.
Okay. Wycombe Wanderers, do you think they won't get more than 87 points from Wrexham? You don't think? Okay. It's not the worst there. I don't think.
No, but I also think that if Bolton get the playoffs, I think Bolton will get promoted this year.
I do think Bolton will get promoted. I agree with you.
Yeah, I do.
I think that everything Bolton fans wrote themselves off, and this feels like an opportunity that wasn't there. This feels like, hang on, you've given us a new leaf.
Yeah.
There's no pressure now.
Well,
Normally in seasons, it's like, oh, we've got to win. But now it's like, tell you what, imagine we go up this year when everybody, like, for all year, for 7 months, oh, crap.
Well, last year, Bolton, until the final day, were in a race for top 2, right? And they got into the playoffs. And we've seen it with so many teams who should have got automatically promoted and end up in the playoffs. And they were dejected because they worked all season to get top 2. I think now Bolton,
they're buzzing going into the playoffs.
They're going to go into playoffs with momentum. We saw it last year with Oxford. Oxford were the team that stormed into the playoffs with momentum. Unfortunately, I really think Bolton have a chance of winning the playoffs because the bar's down there in it for Bolton, whereas the bar's normally up here. But Bolton can exceed that.
I can agree with you. And I do think they'll win the playoffs.
I can see it. I can see.
I think they'll win the playoffs. I don't think they'll get automatic promoted, but they'll win the playoffs. That's one thing I will
So
say.
Bolton fans in the chat, make sure you get ticket. You can get some tickets for me and Nappers. That's all we're saying, aren't we, Nappers?
Different ends. If you could keep liking, follow. 160 of you in. We're 440 away from 17,000 subscribers. So any little help would go a long way. Predictions, go on.
Oh, Ben, the tide has turned. I'm in front. What a glorious day we are at. And I'm 4 points in front as well. So just to base you off this weekend, Ben, you got 5 points this weekend. I don't think you got a correct score, just quickly going through. Now, you got a lot of correct results, but not a correct score. I got 2 correct scores. So I got the Birmingham Wycombe score right. And I also got the Stockport Blackpool score correct. So as it stands, Ben is on 274 and I'm on 278. So it's still relatively close, obviously. So what we'll do is because we're going to do a show midweek, Ben, aren't we? Because of the midweek fixtures. So we'll just do Tuesday night games.
Yeah.
And I think to make it fair between now and the end of the season, when we have these 12 games in a week, we do 6 each every week. That fair? So you can take the top 6 and I'll take the bottom 6.
No, we'll do A, B, C. I'll do one, you do one. I'll do one, you do one.
Okay, all right. So we'll start with you. Probably the game of the round. Bolton against Birmingham.
Bolton Wanderers 1, Birmingham 2.
I literally hate you. You won't see this, but I've written all my scores down in my notes section, like I keep up to track with this. And I don't like you very much. I will go Bolton. Bolton 1, Birmingham 1. Yeah, with Parmex. Blackpool versus Peterborough. That's a really tough game to call, in my opinion. Blackpool Peterborough. I'm gonna go Blackpool. I'm gonna go Blackpool 2, Peterborough 2.
Blackpool 2, Peterborough 0.
Ben, for you first. Cambridge versus Stevenage.
Legend is Chris, by the way. Who's playing Stevenage?
Cambridge.
Cambridge 2, Stevenage 1.
Are they going to go back to 2-0 wins? Yeah, they are. Cambridge 2, Stevenage 0. Have it, Farley.
It's getting light again outside.
It is.
Come on.
It's
daylight. Season.
Charlton versus Barnsley. I am going to go Charlton 2, Barnsley 1.
Charlton 2, Barnsley 1. I'm going to go Charlton 2, Barnsley 0.
Sorry. That's a load of rubbish. Where are we next? Northampton versus Stockport. I'm going to go. Is it me first? Or is it you? Me. No, it's you. Northampton, Stockport, Ben.
2-0 Stockport.
I'm going to go 2-1 Stockport. Lincoln versus Crawley.
Lincoln 2.
No, me first.
3. No, go on, you go first.
Lincoln City 0, Crawley Town 1.
Lincoln City 2, Crawley 1.
I hope not.
Why?
Mansfield versus Wigan, Ben.
Mansfield 2, Wigan 1.
I'm going to go Mansfield 1 and Wigan 1. Shrewsbury against Bristol Rovers. I'm going to go Shrewsbury 0, Gas 1.
Shrewsbury 2, Gas 1.
Rotherham United against Leyton Orient, Ben.
Rotherham 1, Leyton Orient 2.
I'm going to go Rotherham 2, Leyton Orient 1. Huddersfield versus Wrexham.
2-1 Huddersfield.
I'm going to go 1 each. Done that for most games, actually. Reading Exeter. I'm going to go Reading steady. Reading 2, Exeter 0.
1-1.
And then Wycombe versus Burton, Ben.
I want to. I really want to go 1-0 Burton, but no, Wycombe 2, Burton 1.
I'm going to go Wycombe 3, Burton 1. So there you are. That's predictions. And we've got
questions? Get them in for the last 5 minutes. Why not?
They have to be football related. I'm going to go and turn my heating off.
Yeah, they can be life related. Anything bar football normally is better for me. So, yeah. The UK Open's currently on. Littler's in the final against James Wade, who licked Luke Humphrey's neck before. So, it's a strange character as James Wade. If you follow darts, you'll know what I'm on about. He's backed himself to win. So, yeah. The things I do for this channel, the final is just about. Oh, doesn't matter. Littler's 8-0 up. That was good. Littler's 8-0 up.
Competitive final, then.
Yeah. Unbelievable. We need a goalkeeper. All his games have been like that as well.
We don't need a goalkeeper.
You got GG. Where will the blue side finish in the championship? I think 10th.
Have you just read Ian's comment and gone, that sounds right?
No.
I think in the current championship, 12th to 14th at the minute.
Yeah, okay. Any more? How do you control swearing while you're doing content? I'm relatively calm, really. That I kind of have in mood, like work mode. Yeah. You know something? I'll be totally honest with you. It's so heartbreaking doing vlogs now. Because when you upload one, all you get is, I so much prefer it when you're in the stands. That's all you get. And honestly, it's so heartbreaking because you put so much effort into it, more effort than I do in my stands, where I try and be more to the point. I try and get better points. I try the sound quality tries to be better as well because you can barely hear what I'm saying in the stands most of the time as well. It's so frustrating. So and I'm actually loving doing commentary videos. So much so that I don't think the vlog will continue next year because that's where I'm at.
Or is it you enjoy doing commentary because you don't have to stand next to Kershaw for every home game?
Nah, I miss Kershaw, to be fair. I'll give him that. I won't. Yeah, I do. That's the one thing I do miss. But yeah, that's the worst thing. It's like no, it's now 9-0 to Littler, about to be 10-0. Yeah, I do enjoy doing the commentary videos, to be fair. They're like they have been I've really enjoyed it. So yeah, it's I try and be as controllable as I can. I try and just be honest. I try and I get stressed. I'm like, as you can see, my facial expressions. I don't give a lot away. Yesterday I said something of the lines of, "Oh, Ryan Green's got massive kahunas to take that penalty." I'm like, but I'm nappers. I'm nippers, aren't I? So
Your nippers, FTFC
yeah,
nippers. I've told you,
yeah,
mate. We're going through all the vowels. So next season you're going to be FTFC
yeah.
knoppers.
He's looking very trim.
How do you know? Can you tell? Genuinely.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
You-
Mate, I'm telling. Fucking hell, you like Emma, right? I pay a compliment to her. Look now, she goes, "Hi, really? No, I don't. You're taking let me pay you a compliment, man. You look good.
Thanks, bro. I
I'm
appreciate
not.
it.
It's because I smile after you. Look good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciated the comments from Sue and Sarah yesterday. It was very nice.
Yeah. Jake, who's your best friend?
Oh.
You don't say someone from Lincoln.
No, it probably is. It probably is Nappers.
Is it?
Yeah, probably.
That's nice.
I don't want to let people down. I have loads of friends.
I know you do. I know you do.
Who else do I like?
Cornell.
Hey?
Cornell.
Me and Cornell are best mates. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Kershaw is my best friend, apparently.
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah. Who's my best mate?
No pressure, because I've said you in front of 200 people. So feel free to make a mug out of me.
There's three.
Make my week worse. Go on.
Like that I speak to every day. I speak to Jake the most about different things. Emma, obviously, and then obviously Kershaw as well. So I'd go you. Go on.
Gosh, I'm suing him.
Go that. What's this channel coming with? Let's stop being soppy now. Come on. We don't do that.
Have that, Kershaw.
Yeah, I think you two are brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ed.
You what?
I said thanks, Ed.
Yeah. The comments work is tremendous. Thank you very much. That means a lot to me. Right.
How people call you nippers. I love it.
It's all started from her in the car and I went, will you stop calling me that? And yeah, she started something.
You know, when you next come to Lincoln, I'm going to have a banner and I'm going to have "Welcome to Lincoln, FTFC nippers" on the cardboard.
Yeah, a bit like Gavin and Stacey. Lift it up. They won't see it. I feel like
and she dropped it at the sight of it,
yeah. He's only took you to the house because you couldn't spell Stacey because of the big pen. Yeah. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. Jake, where can people go and find your podcast?
My podcast? Yeah, they're here for the Lincoln podcast. If you're interested in all things Lincoln City, it is in the link in my Twitter description. So if you want to come and follow me at Jake_Tong, not like tongue 1998, just 98, sorry. I am 18 followers away from 1,500, so I'd appreciate if anyone would come over and drop me a follow. Would be great.
And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Please drop us a like and a subscription on your way out as well. Thank you for choosing to spend your Sunday with us as well. Until Wednesday, we'll be back for more League One Live. I'll be back on Tuesday as Fleetwood visit Crewe in an absolutely enthralling League Two football match. Until then, I'll see you later. Thank you very much for watching.
Up the imps.
What the cards